We're back with Iowa congressional candidate Dem Bohannan. Democrats are going into this midterm election with the leader of the party, President Joe Biden, having some low approval ratings. However, a Reuters poll this week found it climbed to 40%, but still overall low. Your opponent will probably try to paint you as a pawn of the president. Will you run on Joe Biden's record or run away from it? And where do you disagree with the administration when it comes to policy, if at all?
So, it's interesting. A lot of people try to nationalize this. I have one opponent here, and that's Miller-Meeks. It's me running against Miller-Meeks. And, I think that when we look at the record that we should be looking at is Representative Miller-Meeks' record. And the fact is that she has consistently voted against the people of Southeast Iowa. She has voted against a bipartisan infrastructure bill that will do great things for Iowa. She voted against the CHIPS Act, which will bring semiconductor manufacturing back to the United States away from places like China and Taiwan, which will create great jobs in states like Iowa and make our national security stronger. She has consistently opposed letting Medicare negotiate for lower drug prices, and that has widespread appeal across party. And so, those are the kinds of things that we need to focus on. When we look at a record, I am focused on my opponent, and that's Miller-Meeks. And the fact is that she has consistently put extreme party politics and special interests ahead of the basic needs of the people of Southeast Iowa.
People do see congressional races as from a national perspective in a lot of ways. I guess basically, do you see this administration being positive or negative so far?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that last part of the question.
Well, I guess I basically asked you if you support what Joe Biden's done so far in the administration, in the time he's served so far.
So, there are some really good things that that we can do here, and I think we should focus on the good things that we can do. And I think that, again, letting Medicare negotiate for lower drug prices, we need to cap insulin prices. I think that's really important to people. Reducing the out-of-pocket expenses for people on Medicare, and also work on creating great jobs, creating renewable energy jobs. That's something that I think is a really good move, and it's going to help Iowa. Iowa is a leader in renewable energy. We are one of the leading states in the country for the amount of our electricity that we get from renewable energy, and we can export that to other places. So those kinds of investments in renewable energy are going to be great for Iowa, and I'm really strongly supportive of that.
You work in higher education, a law professor at the University of Iowa. Now, there is pressure within the Democratic Party to forgive student loans, and the most progressive wing of that party wants free college for all. Where do you stand on those issues?
So, I was the first in my family to graduate college, and I know what that's like. I know that it's hard to be first generation, and cost and student loans and all of those things are real deterrents to people pursuing higher education. And I'm also strongly supportive of skills training, apprenticeships, community college, all of education. And so I think we absolutely need to make college more affordable. The tuition at our universities here in the state is like 5 or 6 times higher than it was when I went to college, and that is very difficult for families to afford. So I absolutely think we need to make college more affordable, but I do not support canceling student loan debt across the board. I think that could have some really negative consequences. I worry that it would mean that lower income families would subsidize higher income families. It would mean that blue collar workers would be subsidizing white collar workers. I also worry about, frankly, some unscrupulous colleges that just continue to recklessly increase tuition with promises to people that their debt will be forgiven. So I do not support across the board debt cancellation. I do, however, think that there could be some targeted debt reduction. And that would mean so people who are in need, people who are maybe first generation college goers, or people who are in high need professions, so that, teachers, healthcare workers, those are in high demand. We have shortages of them around Iowa. So I would maybe be in favor of some targeted debt reduction for people who are in those high need areas and are willing to stay and work in underserved areas in Iowa.
Christina Bohannan, I'm going to ask you to stand by for a moment. We've got a little more to talk about. Those of you watching at home can catch the rest of our conversation. That's in a web extra online at ourquadcities.com.